All right. Hello, everyone. Lorenzo, are you ready to start?
Yes, I'm here. All good. Thank you.
All
I
right.
hope
I'll
you're.
give an introduction first. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host for today. My name is Kay, and today we have an AMA session of with LTX Tanox featuring our speaker here is Lorenzo Tano. He's the founder of LTX, and today he'll be coming up to our platform and giving us a insightful session about what his project is all about. And before we begin, I do want to announce that we'll be doing a promo code giveaway of LTX token throughout the live stream. And to claim this giveaway, guys, please make sure to download our Coinstore app through the Apple App Store and through the Google Play Store. Make sure to register an account, and afterwards, I'll be announcing the promo codes, and you can claim some free LTX token through our Coinbox feature. I'll be reading out the promo code. So guys, do please stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's begin. So, before we talk about what LTX Standox is all about, maybe Lorenzo, you could give like a brief introduction of yourself to the audience.
Okay, yes, that's perfect. So, thank you, Kay. My name is Lorenzo Tano, and I am the son of Rocco Siffredi. Maybe some of you already know him, but for someone who doesn't know him, he just had a series about his life on Supersex. And basically, he is an adult performer and has been an adult performer um, for the past 35 years. In the last 10 years, he mostly focused on directing and producing adult contents. And as some of you know, in the recent years, there's been quite strong pushback from payment processors such as Visa and MasterCard primarily. And I don't know if you know this, but us who work in the industry, we have to pay something which is called porno tax, and that goes from 10 to 15%. So together in our Web2 company, so we are not a startup, but I actually work with my father. I've been working with him for over 10 years, and I managed his business side and also from the production side. So that's how I basically connect into this project. And we started developing this project around 5 years ago. We launched the token last year in April with the sole purpose to basically diversify and include blockchain technology into our existing company. So since then, of course, we are basically operating since a year. We launched the V1 of our platform, which is focusing on education. Right now, we have our first course, which you can already buy with LTX. But we're also expanding it to our physical events. We are based in Hungary, but we do events both in Hungary and in Italy. And we already also have partnership with Helio to for everybody basically to integrate this token and this project. We are on the Solana blockchain, and like this, we have Solana fees, and also the speed and scalability is also a feature, because in the future, the next platform after the educational platform will be a live streaming platform similar to Twitch, but integrated with LTX tokens. So the main goal of this project is basically to enable users in our sphere, in the educational and also in the adult world, to integrate this kind of technology without having all the disadvantages which we have currently with the current payment providers. So this is how the whole project was born. Today we're also integrating with swingers clubs in Italy. So there's also big interest in of course the whole swinger sphere for diversifying and having a secondary basically point of utility. And another thing we provide is what I wanted to say is utility for holders. So you don't strictly have to spend LTX, but by holding LTX, for example, we have a promotion now that with 10 million LTX, users can then come to our studio, visit, and basically feel or experience how it is to live, for example, an adult experience in the live, even if people don't want to like participate, but just want to, like Universal Studios, see how it works. There's also this option, and this is basically the purpose of this project. And we're also working with some other companies to get LTX integrated. So one might ask, why would someone integrate LTX as opposed to a stable coin or just Solana? No, because that is a completely valid point. Well, as we know, Solana is already quite huge. So it's on a macro aspect. The macro aspect, for example, if there are rate cuts, so it moves together with all the major projects such as Bitcoin and everything else, because it's already a well-established large coin, and it's also therefore quite volatile. Since our project is very small, we are able to onboard new stars and more people onto the project, because the idea is that if adult X introduces or starts using this token, and people start spending these tokens onto her, and then 5-10 other people start to use it at the same time, basically these incomes compound, and for the now called creator community or creator economy, it helps them basically stabilize. What that means is that the more people use it, they all benefit at the same time, and that's one way we can basically onboard new talent onto the platform to start integrating and use this project. This is effectively the core business. I don't know if there's a Q&A, if people want to have answers or how that works.
All right. Moving on, I think that you explained a lot about this project, but what's the key feature of this project that's separates it from other, I would say other blockchain platform, and what's the innovation behind it? Like, what's the mission that you're trying to achieve for LTX Tenox?
Yeah, so I mean, we're a token on the Solana blockchain, so we're not another block. So we're not essentially a blockchain technology. That is very important to understand, that we don't necessarily bring innovation in terms of a new blockchain technology. We already use an existing blockchain like Solana and use its capabilities. And where our strong point lies is actually the experience in the sector, and we know what the users need in terms of user experience. In the past, there has been many projects that tried to do this kind of integration already starting from 2017, because as we know, this problem is not something that is just relevant for now, but it has been an issue for quite some time. So, I mean, just to say a name, for example, there was this project called PokeMe, and they actually contacted us because they wanted to do a partnership with us in the past, 2 years ago, and we actually declined because their platform is absolutely not good in terms of user experience. So what we can bring is real life use cases, which are already which you can already use now with our token. So that's our strong point. And our network, we can onboard if you go on to sifredi.academy, you can already see all the people we're collaborating with, and some of these people have millions of followers. So what we are trying to do is actually provide real life use cases into blockchain technology, and that's basically our strength.
All right, gotcha. So, moving on, I think right now I want to ask like a question about like the tokenomics of LTX. Maybe you could share with us like its supply or maybe its distribution mechanism. How does the ecosystem run?
Okay, so there basically also on the website you can find the tokenomics, but basically we have 80 billion supply. Everything is already minted, and we have disabled the possibility to mint more, so it's effectively a fixed supply. And what we are doing is we wanted to really focus on community incentive. So we out of this 80% supply, 10% was allocated to liquidity pool, and 60% was allocated towards community incentive, which basically means that from last year for the next 6 years, we have a halving each year. So every year around April, we have a halving where we reduce the number of we have basically a staking mechanism in Radium where people who provide liquidity into the project can earn a fee, and that's how we were able to maintain a very healthy liquidity pool of I think currently it's around 700k, and people can earn a fee for that, and then the remainder of the tokens it's for future expansion. So for example, it goes towards listings on exchanges, and that's basically the remainder 20%.
All right. Okay, so moving on. Right now, I would like to announce the first promo code of this for this AMA. And guys, if you're enjoying this AMA so far, guys, make sure to follow us on Coinstore and also make sure to follow LTX standoffs as well. And to claim this giveaway, guys, I do want to remind that everybody here should download our Coinstore app to claim this giveaway through the App Store and through Google Play Store. And yeah, right now I'll be announcing the first promo code for you to claim some free LTX tokens. So the first promo code is T5Z4NPJG. I'll repeat again. T5Z4NPJG. Guys, so that is the first promo code of this for this AMA, and there will be another promo code during the end of this AMA. So guys, do please stay tuned for that. And back to the question. So I think that you mentioned your project. You started with your father. I would say partner with your father, right? So how
Yeah.
was it like? Yeah, could you like maybe like share the experience, or maybe like what struggles you guys have? Maybe share a bit of a personal experience in developing this project.
Yeah, sure. So actually, we had some delays on the platform. We're supposed to launch it last year, but this is also another point which ties into to the adult industry in general, is that it's hyper regulated. So when we went to develop the V1 of our educational platform, we had to basically apply all the rules and regulations which apply onto the adult world and also for the crypto side. But the very positive thing is that since the direction of the adult space is moving into the direction of KYC and having people verified with age, so like that they can then join the platforms. It's also a similar direction which crypto is also going towards, of course, with KYC and AML. So right now, I know lots of people don't like the KYC aspect of the crypto side, but in our case, it's kind of like we have to do it anyways for the adult stuff, and therefore we can basically get two birds with one stone. And actually, 2 years ago, we also had 7 providers, and then 2 of them decided not to work with our productions. This is actually speaking on a personal level, like with our industry. So we still have 5 providers, and that's why we also decided to integrate the crypto, because we're seeing the trend that lots of companies are facing more and more scrutiny from regulations. And as I said, they also charge very, very high percentages for people who are just joining in. They charge between 10 and 15% fees just because we are working in the adult space. So that's basically how this whole project was born, to mitigate this, and we are actually trying to push this token onto all the players in the space. because of course we want to spread the utility of the project. And next year we're planning to expand the project into the USA. Right now, not many people know, but we're based in Hungary, and most of our audience is in Italy. So these are our initial targets for this year and expansion in Europe, basically. And then from next year, we will be going to the US to target also the US market.
All right. Despite the struggles, I see that you're quite determined to expand your project. Despite
Yeah.
you mentioned, the regulations and the taxes, but I think you are still eager to expand, which I do appreciate that you want to expand this project and help it to grow further. And moving on, so I want to ask about like. What are the future plans for LTX? Are they, as you mentioned, you're expanding it. Are there any new announcements or any new uh, or any news that you can share to our audience here?
Well, we also are working on a partnership with a dancing platform that will also launch next month, and we're looking to integrate LTX also with them. Also, because I know it's not really connected to the adult environment, but the dancing world is definitely a large one, and we want to basically, I mean, the vision of the project is liberty to give basically freedom of expression to the people through this token. And of course, we don't want to basically exclude anyone from this, of course staying in legal limits, obviously. But that's why we are also integrating this project with other dancing platforms. Like that, we can expand the horizon of the project and the reach of the project even more. And of course, something which we're working on, which we already said, it's the swingers club, especially in Italy. But we also want to expand that if it works well and if we get positive feedback, also in Switzerland and around Europe, because that's also quite a big market.
All right, I heard there's like a lot of plans coming up. And moving on, for anybody that's interested, maybe in joining your community or getting involved in LTX, Tenox. So, how do they get involved? Like, are there any socials or are there any uh, I would say platforms that they can join in and get involved in your community?
Yes, so people who want to directly join and participate into our academy, or want to enter basically the adult world, which is what this whole project was basically born for, they can do it through sifready.academy. It has all the information. The V1 of the project is already online, and the first course can already be purchased with LTX. We will be launching the community aspect of the platform within a month also, so people will be able to interact with each other, and people who want to basically make movies, or people who want to act or just participate, they can then do networking and interact with each other, and then organize these events. And then, of course, we have our Telegram group, which you can also find through our Twitter channel, but it's basically Tanox LTX. Also from our website, which is tanoxltx.com, you can find all the links to join our communities, basically.
All right. So moving on. So sorry if I sound like a very careful when I'm phrasing because of the nature of the industry. But I do think that your project has a lot of potential. As I think that you mentioned, you're expanding in the U.S. market and also other places, which I think that's great. And moving on to my next question. So uh, I think that you mentioned your project that there's a lot of regulations and a lot of taxes. So in this industry, so what will you see like your project in like the next 5 years in terms of the industry? Will you think that the regulation be more will be lifted more or and be more flexible, or will you think it will become more strict? And how do you plan to handle this?
So there are two aspects of this because actually, on a legal standpoint, what we need is basically the people to be overage and consenting. So basically, they need to comply. It should not be forced, of course. So these are on like an actual legal level the two main points, that the people are overage and they want to do it. They are not forced into it. All the other rules, regulations, and for example, taxes attached to this, they only come from the payment providers such as Visa and MasterCard, which, as we saw in recent years, they have banned X videos and Pornhub. In those cases, actually, I can also say it's rightful because on those platforms they had minors and they had other issues, of course. So we can understand why they have basically detached themselves from those projects. The big issue in our world, in our sector, is that people consider the adult space to be all equal. So, for example, in our case, it's highly regulated. We have over 12 pages of compliance, and something which might make people also laugh is that when, for example, an actress comes to us on set, there is basically like when you go and hire a car, there is this document where you have to, if the car has like a scratch or something, they put a circle around it. Now we have the same thing in our industry, where we have basically like a skeleton version of a female figure, and if she has a bruise or something, then we have to mark it that she already came with a bruise, for example. So we have lots of let's say securities in place to help us, and basically to I mean, it's protection both for the actors but also from the producer side. But the main issue still always derives from the payment provider. So they are imposing these kind of high taxes onto our world because they can. They have basically a monopoly, and that's why we are heavily pushing in the crypto space. So I mean, our number one goal is also to implement, and that's why we're also integrating with going on centralized exchanges to make it as easily to make it as easily accessible as possible in terms of crypto and crypto adoption. And that's basically our number one goal right now, because we have many users who, of course, love the idea. They want to onboard and join, but from a technological standpoint, it's clicking and doing multiple steps, registering, and then doing all the steps basically off-puts them. So we're also working on solutions to make it super easy to onboard people and start using crypto. And that's basically our number one goal right now.
All right. So yeah, I like that. You have like a very, I would say, protective
Yeah.
approach. So I do appreciate that. And moving on. So I think I would say, like, in the crypto space, in this sector specifically, are there any like big competitors that you are facing, and what would you say that you differentiate from a competitor? Like, what makes you stand out from the rest of your competitors?
I mean, there are some competitors. One I mentioned was this PokeMe, and their biggest issue, they mostly focus on NFTs and packaging adult content into NFTs and selling them. But in terms of user experience, it's quite terrible because you don't get to see what you buy. And sometimes the price of these NFTs can also be quite high. So when you think about adult content and that it's most of the time accessible for free, you don't really want to spend $500-600 on an NFT to find maybe a 1 minute clip, even if it's personalized, because you don't really know what's behind it. So that's why their model really didn't really work so well. What we are trying to focus on is actually give a virtual experience through our platform, where people can then learn, understand if they want to do this. But then with the use of LTX, they can also come in our studios. We're also working on expanding the places where we actually offer these how can I say, workshops. because right now we are doing them in Hungary and Italy. But of course, if we expand to the US market, we will also need to find partnerships within the US to basically be able to host such events also in the US or elsewhere. And basically, I mean, our strong point is focusing on the experience side of things. That when you actually buy the crypto, you can also live an experience which is not just virtual. We also have the virtual side. We're also launching our first 800 NFT collections for our first 800 holders. But that's I didn't really mention this because we already have 800 holders. But we will have other NFT collections in the future where people will basically also have access to certain events with NFTs. So this is also something we are working on, is to really connect and integrate the virtual with the physical space in a way that we've always been doing for the past 40 years. So with Rocco's experience, we really know how to make these events. Whereas lots of projects which are recently being launched are mostly focused on the tech side and not really on the user experience side. So that's, I think, where our strong point is.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I think that regardless of any industry, focusing on the user experience is always the most important part of any business. And
Yeah.
moving on, so for I think I saw like there's like a lot of viewers joining like during the halfway of this AMA, and I missed out the front part. And would you like to give them like a brief summary of like what is LTX to the users? I mean to the
Yes. So
audience.
yeah. So for everybody who just recently joined, LTX is an adult-based project. It's not a startup. We actually have an existing company working in the adult space for the last 35 plus years. And I am the son of Rocco Sifredi. He's basically a known producer. He has also released a series called Super Sex about his life. So if you want to also know a bit more about him, then you can definitely watch that series to know more about this world in general. But basically, what we've been facing in the past 5 years is that Visa and MasterCard are trying to basically restrict, or since they have the monopoly on the payment processing networks, they can charge super high fees on our contents, and they can also basically impose limits on what can or cannot be posted online. So that's why we decided to diversify and integrate crypto into our project, because with the crypto we can completely erase the fees. We're on the Solana blockchain, so with Solana fees and speed, we're able to basically develop and create lots of projects.
All right. So, guys, you heard from Laurent, from our speaker. I think that his project is. I would say, despite the nature of this project, I would say that this project has a lot of potential. And yeah, I think Lorenzo Hayes has been quite really professional about the nature of his project, which I really appreciate about that. And moving on, right now, I would like to announce the second promo code of this for this AMA. And again, guys, I do want to remind everybody, if you guys want to claim some free LTX tokens, make sure to download our Coinstore app through the App Store and through the Google Play Store. Make sure to register an account so you can claim our giveaway through our Coinbox feature. All right, so the second promo code is QSA3EU1J. I'll repeat again. QSA3EU1J. So that is the second promo code for this AMA. Again, guys, make sure if you're enjoying this session, make sure to follow us on Coinstore on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow LTX Dialogues as well. Yeah, I think we have almost reached the end of this AMA session. Is there any last words that you might want to share to our
I
audience?
mean, for people who maybe joined in also in the last few moments, we can then maybe share also again the tokenomics of the project. So basically, we have a supply of 80 billion, and it's already all minted, and and we have all revoked all access, so there's no freeze, there's no new minting, or so from that point of view, the token is secured. And as we said last time, we have staking slash farming incentive to increase the liquidity pool, because for us it's very important also to have a stable, decently large liquidity pool of 700 million right now. But we're also, of course, wanting to expand on different centralized exchanges also. And the way this payout works on radio effectively is, each year there's a halving. So since the project is already over 1 year old, we had our first halving, and in April we'll have our second halving, and each year there is a halving until basically for 5 more years effectively, and then the project will become completely deflationary from that point onwards, basically.
All right. So I think we have reached the end of this AMA, guys. Again, I want to thank Mr. Lorenzo for coming up to our platform and giving us a very insightful uh, session about his project. And despite the nature of the project, I do think that this project has a lot of potential, and I think Lorenzo is quite determined to expand his business to a lot of markets. I think he mentioned in U.S. market as well, and he plans to expand and become making his platform more accessible and more, I would say, bigger.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, the platform right now is already in 3 languages. Right now, it's already in 2 languages, English and Italian. We also have, for the French community, French language, but we still need to enable it because we're missing some contents. But effectively, the platform it has multilingual capabilities, so we can also expand in Spanish in the future or other languages for the future, basically.
all right, yeah, I do appreciate that you actually, uh, you know, uh, integrate a few languages, as I think that would help for the expansion of your project as well. And I want to thank everybody here for tuning in to our AMA session and hearing both of us what we have to say about this project. And yeah, I think I've reached the end. Again, I want to thank everybody here and Lorenzo for this for you guys time. And yeah, I hope to see you everybody here very soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Bye bye.